about everything. I'm looking forward to getting back home to New Zealand. The weather here is starting to really, really suck. Here in Great Britain, they have 8 months of bad weather. I mean, it's just so effing depressing. I'm so glad I'm getting on Qantas and getting out of here at the end of this effing tour. I mean, I love the gigs, but the food and the climate sucks.
Well, you're not far, man. We're on the Gold Coast. We're in Queensland, so you're just over there in New Zealand. Yeah, so not too far.
I'll be on Qantas coming south within 9 days. Whoopee.
Well, you're heading into summer now, so it'll be nice weather over there.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Well, it's a bit later in New Zealand, but I'm looking forward to it. I've not been back for a year down under, but New Zealand's my home. I feel this first and foremost. If I had to give up one of my passports, the British passport would go first.
Wow. Yeah, well, see, I've never been to New Zealand. It's over the ditch, but I've always.
You don't get many Aussies in New Zealand. You don't. In all my time now, I've never met many Aussies in New Zealand. But you get many Kiwis in Aussie.
We do.
We won't go there. But there we are. Look, as you can see, I'm generally kind of chipper, and I don't suppose we can all really take it in that we've had the highest chart position that we've ever had in our lives at the ripe old age of 55. My God. I mean, who'd have thought it?
That's awesome. What would it chart at?
11.
That's awesome. Yeah, congratulations, man. It's definitely well deserved.
Well, I'll let you know when it makes a difference to my bank account.
Oh man, I think everyone needs to own this album. I think it's just it's just a piece of art, man. It's brilliant. I can't say enough good things.
And the funniest thing is, I'm looking forward to the 6-week tour of America, which is going to be quite grueling. But yeah, I feel that we lift people's spirits, and it's a moral duty to get out there on tour. And so I'm into it, man. I'm into it. I made that right decision at school when I was off my head and being a bad boy. I made the right decision of being in a band. As Peter Hook from Joy Division says, it's the best job in the world.
Do you think guys these days, with the way the internet is and everything like that, do you think they've got a chance as well?
Of course they've got a chance, because there's so many shit bands that sound like everybody else out there. How can you lose if you've got something original?
Yeah, that's what you were saying before. I like that a lot.
It is, and the other factor is that back in 1978 and 79, you had 20 people above your head taking a cut.
Mm.
I mean, I would get 2% of every record, personally, right? Which means 17 pence for 1%, right?
Wow.
So you have to sell a lot of records, man, to make any decent money. So you can see how much we were ripped off back in those days. So actually, things are more favourable now in many respects.
So you reckon it's a little bit, it's a lot more transparent?
Yeah, that's true. And people make two mistakes about the late 70s and the early 80s. One is that it was in some way easier to crack it as a band. It wasn't. It was just as hard, if not harder then. And the other thing is, these people that look back towards the Killing Joke Joy Division days when the two bands used to go on tour a lot, well, I'd just like to say that life was just as shit then as it is now. So stick your nostalgia in somewhere dark. No, it's... generally speaking, these kind of nostalgia waves irritate me.
Really?
It was just as hard then as it is now. It wasn't any fucking golden age, I can tell you.
Oh, wow. Man, it's because, you hear the stories, you hear all the stories about, from everyone says, the golden age, it was so much better back then, but hearing it from you.
No, it wasn't. It was a different set of problems then. It was just as dark, and in fact, it was similar in some respects to this period of time now. And I've had many journalists pointing out to me that, at the beginning of our career, we thought there was going to be one big nuclear war sooner or later, and or a world war, and here we are back in another Cold War. I go backwards and forwards to Russia to work with the orchestra. Things aren't good. It may well be that nobody wants a World War III, but it could just happen because there's no hotlines between Tehran and Tel Aviv these days like there was between Moscow and Washington in the old days. It's so much more unstable out there. And so, you have that feeling that everybody's living on a knife edge now. And to add to that, the thing that is even worse now than back at the late 70s is that people, generally speaking, are a lot poorer. How terrible things are now. But the fact is that each one of us must try and make a little bit of paradise in our own way, whether it's setting up a gig or a concert or a rave or a talk or a debate or whatever. I think any form of counterculture is healthy, and we should just aim on heightening the human experience and doing as many things that please us in this life as possible. For myself, there's only one song in rock music, and that song is freedom. It's sung over and over again in a million different ways. It's what our forefathers fought for in the last two world wars, and it's what we must defend. And the eternal fight against fascism. That's
awesome, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for talking to us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Hey, it's a big pleasure, man. Now, you make sure that when you finish it, what time is it over there?
20 to 12.
What, at midday?
Midnight.
Oh, midnight. My advice is to consume the poisons of your choice. A big glass of wine, a double whiskey, or something even worse, and have a really good night, sir.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, you too. I'll
God bless you. Look after yourself. Keep yourself healthy. Huh?
I will. Thanks, Jazz. I'll see you in Brisbane.
All right, mate.
Thanks, buddy.
Take it easy. Bye.
Bye.